Building a disc golf bag is pretty hard to do, but you don't have to spend a ton of money to do so. You can go to the used bins and find some crazy good deals. So instead of just going through and doing a used bin find video, I actually kind of went in with intention to replay. I wanted to put together a bag. Like a lot of people in their beginning, getting into disc golf, they think they have to go buy brand new discs, and that's expensive, especially if you don't know how to throw, what to throw, and you're gonna lose a lot of discs. So in this episode, I'm exploring more of what to look for in the used bins. So I went through replay and I was trying to find like some very specific types of discs, and I think we accomplished that. Some of these, I'm gonna be honest, these were incredibly good used bin finds regardless if I was trying to do this challenge or not, and they will all be available for sale. But let's talk about what I picked out to bag, and I'm also trying to think of like some of the economical options here of what to look for. And I think of like if you're starting to play disc golf, you've probably thrown an ultimate frisbee, you've thrown around the frisbee, you know, with your friends. The Polecat is a great starter option for somebody who's getting into disc golf. So the cool thing about this is not only the cool stamp, the cool plastic, it's an Innova Halo plastic. It was $3. So you can find some really, really cool discs in the used bins. And I think it's just a natural feeling disc if you've never played disc golf to start with. So that would be a great, very glidey, very straight, put it on the angle, it's gonna hold it there, putter to start with. What I would say maybe is the modern Polecat is the Pixel. So the Pixel here is a really, really glidey, very straight putter. This is from MVP, so if you're starting out, you might want to try different brands. So that's what I was thinking. Let's go with the Pixel here, $12, brand new in the used bins, but it's R2, so it's recycled plastic. The next up, this is a $3 disc. It also says, if lost, I must have really messed up. Good job finding it. It is now yours. This is just a soft Ringer GT. Sometimes you might want to actually use a softer plastic, but another thing to try if you're beginning in disc golf is the thumb track right there. Because sometimes it gives you a little bit more confidence and tells you where to put your thumb on the disc. It actually can work for forehand and backhand, and this is a pretty understable disc, so would be a really good one for beginners. And it was only $3 in the clearance section. So we have a lot of our putters covered. This is a Tempo from MVP. MVP has the overmold technology that's supposed to help it with gyro to make sure that it tries to get to flat, and it pushes further than a typical disc that's not an overmold. This one is actually a pretty cool one because it's particle glow proton soft or proton plastic. So if you shine a light on it, just the glow particles light up, which is pretty unique. And this would be a perfect one to get to learn how to throw forehands. And this is actually an extremely straight mid-range disc. It is a 4-speed, but it flies almost more like a mid-range. And then you got to get into some approach discs. Everybody needs a good approach disc. I was actually going in looking for a zone, but this was a $3 Champion Toro. So I was like, you know, it might be a little overstable for a beginner, but for my purposes in this video, $3 is a perfect one to start with. You just gotta, know how to flex it over, and that would be the perfect approach disc. This one, I just picked it up. Basically, if you didn't like the Toro, the A2 would do the same thing, but it's actually kind of cool because it was an Isaac Robinson one-time world champion A2. This would be like your ultimate utility disc. I probably wouldn't go this overstable, but I mean, I did pick it up because it was pretty cool for $10. So let's get into mid-ranges. So I found this awesome color, I guess this is color glow plastic. It's C-line glow plastic from Discmania. So this is the MD1 mold. Think of like a Mako. It's basically like a 5600. So it's gonna wanna fly really straight, and once you get stronger and better at disc golf, it'll flip up to flat and fly forever. So glow plastic, $10, barely used, but is that perfect beginner mid-range disc. Next, I've got a Star Roc, but it's a pinned Star Roc. It's got a Wu-Tang clan, it looks like, die on there, which is pretty cool. But the Roc is one of the best throwers out there. I was gonna get a DX Roc, but then I was looking through and I found the Star Roc. I was like, this is just too cool of a disc not to use. So you can look for a DX Roc, or if you have a cool Star Roc, this is a pretty good, very straight thrower that I think a lot of people can start learning on. It's gonna be a little bit more overstable than that MD1. And then this one was a $3 MD4. This is Innova produced Discmania C-Line MD4. It's gonna be a more overstable version. of a mid-range. So you've got your understable, your stable, and you have your overstable slot covered well with those 3 discs. And it was only $3 for an Innova made Discmania CD1 or MD4. Where does CD1 come from? Not even in the conversation. You got to get into some of your fairway drivers, and I like to set people up like when you're starting disc golf, you should be throwing a lot more putters and mid-ranges compared to these distance drivers. But this is a fairway driver. This is basically like a good T-bird. I was going to go in looking for a T-bird, but I found a Innova produced Discmania C-Line FD2. Are you kidding me? So obviously I'm going to use that one instead. This is going to be a really straight and have a little bit of a finish. Perfect disc to get started with when you're throwing and learning how to throw distance drivers. And then I also added an MVP Inertia to the bag. And this is cool because it was a prototype. So I was like, you know what? That's a great find. That'd be a nice disc to add in. We'll go through that one as well. And then I'm rounding it off here with 2 distance drivers. I know a lot of people don't like to start off with distance drivers, but let's be real, we all did. Who actually went through and only threw putters for 50 rounds? Nobody. Okay? Everybody's going to want something that's faster because they think in their head it's going to be a longer, further disc. I have an old Star Wraith here that I picked up for $3. Again, trying to build a more economical bag here. And then I found a X-Out Innova made DD3 as like the longer destroyer type of slot. I have no problem with people bagging Wraiths and destroyers and learning a disc like that and realizing how hard 12 speeds are to throw in the beginning, but a nice DD3 to pick up. So let's see how much we actually spent on this bag. So we ended up spending just under $100 on this bag. It cost us $97 for all of those discs, and a little bonus one that's coming up. Stick around. Dyed this one. This is a cool Star Roc. All of these are available. Some of these are already sold. I wanted to actually film a full round, but I had a massive tournament that I was preparing for. It kind of took away a little bit of my time, but I hope you guys enjoy this one. Check out these bonus finds. And then also some bonus ones real quick. I did get a Heimborg Star Roc 3, which is crazy. Actually, this isn't even Roc 3, it's a Star Roc. Bonus used been find. I found this old Walled Lake, Michigan XL Elite Pro plastic. Really old history with Discraft here. Found an AB T-Bird 3. I'm going to try to wipe the ink off the back from 22 Color Glow T-Bird 3. And I found this cool pre-flight number, super pearly Champion Shark. Those didn't necessarily make it into the bag, but they definitely could have. And these are just 4 that'll be up on the website.